Today, I'm going to be talking about if you are overpaying on your taxes, overpaying on taxes. So if you're a business owner, particularly, I want you to understand what the U.S. tax code helps you to do. So taxes is the biggest enemy of your wealth. However, the tax code is your friend because the U.S. government does not create jobs. Government doesn't create jobs. What the government does is they use the power that they have, the power of the purse, which is what Congress has, in order to incentivize people to have businesses that create jobs. That's the tax base. So business owners get heavily incentivized to create jobs, to hire people, to spend money on research and development, to buy equipment, to buy real estate, all these different things. So business owners are heavily incentivized to do these things. However, business owners are surveyed, the majority of them believe they're either don't know or they know for sure they're overpaying on their taxes. So how come that is? That's the biggest thing you got to understand. Why do you feel like you're overpaying your taxes? Number one, you're busy running your business. So if you're busy running your business and you're busy running your life and you're trying to spend time with your family, if you got a spouse, you're trying to spend time with your spouse, do date nights, all these things. Last thing you're thinking about is your damn taxes, okay? Nobody's been thinking about their taxes. They just think about how much they got to pay in taxes that they don't like. So, but they don't. So how come somebody overpays the IRS? You overpay the government and you're like, damn, I overpaid. Most people just kind of take it. They take it because people are scared. People are afraid of the IRS. They're like, damn, I could get audited. I could get this, and this. So people are scared of the IRS. And also the tax code changes all the time. So Congress passes different tax laws. They pass different things. They give different incentives, all these different things. So now the IRS, they exist to enforce the laws that are passed by Congress. So that's how taxation works. So let's say a president wants to change something in the tax code. The president will have to, he and his political party kind of try to make deals all in Congress and all that stuff to try to make those things happen. And then you've got different industries that lobby for different concessions. They lobby for different things. They want changes in the tax code so that their industry is attractive to invest in. For example, there's something called opportunity zones. So opportunity zones is designated areas that need capital. They're areas that that they want private capital to come in, or just capital in general to come in and develop those areas. So the government gives you tax breaks. It gives you tax incentives for investing in opportunity zones. So you buy real estate in an opportunity zone, qualified opportunity zone, you can get tax breaks, tax deductions. So if you're not aware of these kinds of different things, it could make a difference. You're like, hey, I want to buy a property. Well, you could look to see if it in a qualified opportunity zone, so that you can benefit from those tax incentives. So those are just one of the many ways that the government incentivizes you to do things, incentivize things to do with your money. Yet you have business owners. What's up, Christopher Worth? Hope you're doing great, man. You have business owners overpaying their taxes because the tax law changes, and because there's 70,000 plus pages of the tax code related supporting documents, everything. It's a massive amount of document, millions of words. So as a result, do you really think a lot of individuals are sitting now reading that stuff? No. So nowadays we have different tools, modern tools that can analyze your specific situation and see what tax deduction, tax credits, incentives, all of that you could qualify for. Because the IRS is not going to sit you down and tell you, hey, these are the things you qualify for. That's why they have the tax code. So it now becomes your responsibility to see what you qualify for. And then how do you follow what the tax code says to the letter so that you can legally reduce your taxes? There's ways to legally reduce your taxes. Let me give you a stat. So if we help somebody reduce their taxes by $30,000 a year, right? And they're able to take that $30,000 a year and invest it, put it somewhere, and earning 7% return on that money. You realize that after 20 years, that person would have over $1.4 million. Imagine you're overpaying your taxes, and years later, you realize that you overpaid the government, that you could have had millions of dollars more in your pocket that you gave to the government. How shitty would you feel about that? That's insane. Yet this is happening to business owners all the time. If you have a six-figure income earning household, you probably get hit some of the worst because you may not have certain deductions. So there's different things that you can do. If you don't like take the tax thing seriously, you could literally be screwing your family out of millions of dollars. You could be screwing your business value out of millions of dollars if you because taxes. Here's the thing about taxes. If you're able to legally reduce every dollar you don't have to pay to the government is a dollar you don't actually have to go out and earn. So if I end up taking strategies and I reduce my taxes and I pay the government $30,000 less, I didn't have to do any extra work to go earn that $30,000. I already have that money. I've already collected that money. I've just used strategies to not pay it to the government and not overpay it. So it's the things you have to understand. So people who prepare taxes. So this is called tax planning, where you plan in advance strategies you're going to use to legally reduce your taxes. Because some of these things have dates you have to do them by, right? So if you're not planning, what ends up happening is you get super busy during tax time. You rush to try to get all your documents in order and everything, and then you don't have time to reduce your taxes. So there is somebody that we're talking to maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and we were trying to get them some stuff set up so that they can actually reduce some of their taxes. And they kind of came to us a little bit late in the game on this. We should have been planning for it, but it kind of came to me and they're like, hey, our accountant says we need to do this, this, and this. And can you help us implement it? So I wanted to go implement some of the stuff. You realize that they could have saved an additional $30,000 in taxes had they simply just planned it in advance. And so we were like scrambling at the end trying to like get all the stuff in place. So entrepreneurs, you're overpaying. So like you're done with it and you're like, oh, I'm done with tax season now. I got to go. Now you go back to go make more money. And then the next year happens again. Next year happens again. So people are overpaying their taxes. There's deductions you might qualify for that you're not aware of. There's credits that you get that you're not aware of because you're simply not doing tax planning. So it's one of the things we do for our clients is like, okay, so for some of our clients, we're like, hey, let's look at your previous year's tax returns. Let's look at all your supporting schedules, your 1040, everything, all your different schedules and everything that you've got. Let's look at that and see, number one, did you overpay? Were there other things we could have done that could have reduced your taxes? Now, if you overpaid, you're like, okay, I overpaid. Now there's different things you can do. You can file, you can amend your previous year's return if you overpaid so that you can get some money back that you overpaid. And by the way, if you overpay the government, they're not going to send you a letter and say you overpaid us. You just didn't take that deduction, or you didn't do something properly in time for that credit you qualify for. It's not their responsibility. They don't view it as their responsibility to tell you, hey, you with this specific situation, you qualified for this and you didn't take it. That's not their job. They put that on you as their responsibility. For them, they feel like, hey, we gave you the tax code. You look at it and you figure out what you qualify for and you send us the money. However, if you underpay them, so they know freaking what you owe and qualify for, if you underpay them, they will let you know. If you underpay the IRS, they will let you know. However, if you overpay them, they will not let you know. You understand? So if you don't have people in your corner that's helping you plan in advance, you know that billions of dollars in refunds that are owed to people, the government keeps. So they keep it on the books for a few years. After a few years, you don't file your refund, you don't claim the money, boom, they keep that shit. It's gone. So they keep on there and like, yeah, we're not going to keep. So literally you overpaid, you didn't file for something, I'm just talking about just people who were owed refunds that should have gotten a refund. They just didn't file. That they missed out on. It ends up being billions of dollars every year. So, but if you're a business owner now, and or you're a high income earning household, at least six figures plus a year, something like that, and also, or you have a business where you're generating revenue in your business, you want to make sure you are planning things in advance. Um, People who are self-employed, if you're self-employed, like you're a real estate agent, you do sales, you're 1099, there's probably a bunch of deductions that you could take that you're not taking. Like they did a study like self-employed people, most of them are 80% of them are overpaying their taxes on self-employed people. So like for your freelancers, all these, because they're not, I mean, you didn't go to start doing that to be a master at taxes. So you don't know what deduction you're supposed to be taking, or how do you set up your structure? How do you set up your company so that you can actually file the correct way to reduce certain taxes? So if you're not aware of that, you just overpaying the government and you just kind of go along with that. And so because people are scared, it's not something for you to be afraid of. You just need to work with people who understand and understand, can analyze the tax code. We have different tools. We have artificial intelligence and everything that's been trained on the tax code, supporting tax cases, all these different things, been trained on that. And so we help our clients with it. So if that's something that you need help with, if you feel like you potentially are overpaying the government and you're not sure, or you know for sure, you're like, damn, I know I overpaid them, then send me a DM. If you're a business owner and you're doing $250,000 a year revenue, ideally, if you're making $250,000 in profit, that's better. But if you're doing $250,000 a year in revenue, send me a DM. If your business is doing $250,000 in revenue, at least send me a DM about tax planning. If you're an individual, if you're a household, you're making over six figures a year as your household, send me a DM as well about that. That's some of the different things we do to help our clients. Number one, the biggest reason people overpay the taxes is, one, they're not organized. Their finances are not organized, so they don't have things thought out. They don't have things planned. So because they're not organized, they have to scramble. And when they're scrambling, they miss out on things. And then look, tax preparers are very busy during tax season. You know, somebody could be preparing hundreds or over 1,000 tax returns during a very condensed period. It doesn't allow them a lot of time for them to analyze all the different ways that you can reduce your taxes. And sometimes you've already passed a date that you could do something about it anyway. So you want to be very, 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 very proactive in that particular area. So keep that in mind. You also want to organize your finances. You want to make sure you're paying less taxes, because, like I said, you could end up 20 years from now have millions of dollars less because you overpaid to the government. And you could have taken that money and put that money to work in your business. You could have taken that money and built a retirement plan for yourself that would be paying you cash flow. But instead, that money went to the IRS, and then you just kind of let that happen to you. So think about what effect that'll have on your retirement plans. How many people can't retire today successfully because they don't have enough money? So imagine if those people for many, many years were overpaying their taxes, and that money could have been gone towards their own investment. How do you think those people feel now? If that were you, how would you feel about that? You'll feel like, damn, that was kind of a messed up thing to happen. So realize that it's very important that you handle taxes, one of the biggest enemies of your wealth, and then use those tax savings to actually investing to grow your business. Invest to have more money for retirement. Invest to increase the value of your business so that years from now, when you go to sell it, you can sell it for a higher amount. There's people today that their kids don't even want to have anything to do with their business. So if you're a business owner and you're not sure if you're maximizing your tax incentives that you have, send me a DM. We'll be happy to help you understand if you are. And if you're like, hey, I'm building a business, but I really have nothing saved for retirement. I got very little saved for retirement. I don't know how to optimize my retirement plan. I know I want to be investing both in my business and in assets. How can I do that effectively? Reach out to us. We do that all the time for our business owner clients. We help them not only just save taxes, but put those tax dollars to work that they've saved. Now we can increase their wealth. That's actually the smart way to do it, because now you're playing a game of increasing your wealth and minimizing your tax bill. And that's the smart way to do it. So if you guys need any help on that front, if you feel like you're overpaying your taxes, let us know. If you're just disorganized with your finances, you just don't know where everything's at, you can't pull out your financial statements anytime you want. You don't know where your money's flowing. You don't know how things are happening with your assets. You don't know how your assets are performing. You can't pull out a personal financial statement anytime. You don't have a net worth statement. You're not tracking your profits and losses effectively. All of these things are things that are actually holding your business from being as profitable as it could be, because you don't know where things are at. So send us a message on any of those things if any of those things are of interest to you, and we will help you figure out how to create more profits in your business, how to save more money from paying the government in taxes, and actually how to put those dollars to work to build more wealth. Ideally, build wealth that will pay you a tax-free income stream in the future, tax-free cash flow in the future, so that even during your retirement, you're not losing money. And you're not losing money in taxes even during your retirement, because a lot of retirees are going to be screwed. Most retirees have traditional retirement accounts, and they've never accounted for what the taxes are going to be in retirement. So when they hit retirement, taxman is going to be taking money, even though they're not working anymore. Taxman is going to be taking money out of every dollar they receive. Think about that. Your grandma's receiving a little paycheck. I mean, her little play check from her retirement account, and the government's still trying to take a piece of that. That's crazy, dude. So you got to understand how this works so you can make it work for you. Anyway, send us a message, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time. All right.